So after Vietnam, I made a big decision because all the places near Vietnam were like Laos, Cambodia, but people were telling me not to go to Cambodia because it was like rainy season and there was a big war. I think it's still going on right now between Cambodia and Thailand. And people in Vietnam are like, oh, it's dangerous. Like, don't go. Like, people go missing and just like murders and just so much stuff. And I'm don't listen to people. And I had one of my friends down there that I met in Thailand, so I wanted to go see her, but that didn't end up happening. And I made a huge decision to go to Indonesia. I heard just so much about like Bali and Indonesia, and I got the resources to like go, and that was gonna be like my last stop. So essentially, I only had enough money to like choose one more country. So I went from Vietnam to Indonesia, and that was also the best experience that I had. I know I said I loved Vietnam, but Indonesia I loved for a whole different reason. And that's when I really found my purpose, my passion, as far as teaching goes. And so, yeah, I'm in Vietnam. I buy my ticket to Bali, and I'm already hitting up the workawayers because I'm gonna be volunteering because I know that I don't have much money. I'm basically like only able to afford like food, travel, and the basics. Because I also had to buy my ticket back to the U.S. Like if nothing popped off as far as money and stuff, and I was just preparing for like the worst. And so essentially, I land in Bali. I already know I'm going to my. I have two volunteers lined up, and so and they're both very far from Bali on the bus because I was taking the bus for cheap transportation. And so I land in Bali, and man, I had a horrible experience at the flight, like because I had a grinder on me, and so they stopped me, and I thought like I was going to jail. And they said that they stopped me because they found a grinder in my bag, and this is at the airport before I even get in the city. And I remember I have like a little capsule with like a mushroom in it, like a chopped up mushroom. And so yeah, they ended up letting me get through, and they took like the little capsule of the mushroom. I thought I was gonna go to jail for that only. And then they said that they stopped me because I had a grinder on me. And they're like, where have you been and stuff? And I was like, Thailand, Vietnam. And they're like, so you don't have like any drugs on you? I'm like, y'all checked every imbecile. Like they went through everything, made me take off my socks. They were rubbing on my crotch, and they took off like everything. And they still had the nerve to ask me like, do you have anything else? I'm like, bitch, you just checked. And so, anyways, I get through relieved. I thought I was about to go to jail because drugs in Indonesia are a big no, no, no. Like, you don't fuck with no drugs in Indonesia at all. And so, right when I land, I'm like, fuck, that was like the scariest time. And so, I get through. I'm already at my hostel that I'm going to. It's about 30 minutes away from the airport. I call a grab, hop on, and as soon like 5-10 minutes, like we're on the bike, it starts pouring down hard, and all I have is my backpack. So I'm a backpacker, and yeah, it's just pouring down. And I have my guitar, so I traveled with my guitar and my backpack, and everything is soaked when we get there, and it's pouring down. And I'm like, man, it kind of wasn't the best start off to the trip. So first was the airport, and then the rain, which is like I was drenched by the time I got back. And so I was in Bali for only a couple days. Like I said, I knew I was going to the volunteer experience. And so I just really got a chance to check out Bali. And I did love it, but it was kind of very touristy. And y'all know how I feel about like tourist destinations. Like they're cool, but they can be oversaturated and not as authentic. I love the authentic culture, the people. In Bali, there was just a lot going on, like a lot of tourists. And like I said, it was beautiful, but I don't even know if I'll be back to Bali. But it was cool. And the people were awesome. There's a lot of good music and stuff, a lot of musicians, and the people are very nice. It's an Islamic territory, and Yeah, that's nothing for me. And so I'm only in Bali for a couple of days, hit the beaches and stuff, go out a little bit. I met some good people there. For real, I met some good people. And so yeah, I went to Bali, boom. And then next I'm going to Borobudur because that's where my volunteering was at. So I hop on a bus and it's about a 17-hour trip. And so I land and I'm talking to my brother who ended up becoming my brother. At first I was kind of nervous. I didn't know what to expect, but I'm going to a country town and both of these volunteers were like hitting me up and they're like, you should go come here first, blah, blah, blah. But I ended up following my heart and going with this one, but the other volunteer wanted me to go over there first too. And so, but the other volunteer, we were talking all the time, texting on the phone, and she was like became like family, which was like weird because I never met her. But the first time we talked was like over an hour, and like I said, we were just talking all the time because I was in Vietnam when I was looking for volunteer experiences, and I met both of them. They both like accepted me, and they're like, "Yeah, you can come." And at this one that I went to, I was the first volunteer to ever be there. It was at a hostel, and he just said that he would want me to like teach the staff English and yeah, just teach English basically. So I was like, bet. So he picks me up from the bus station, and it's about a 30-minute drive back to the hostel. And first he brings me to his parents' house, and I just meet the whole family and just his parents own like a villa. And so yeah, I really got close with them, and that became my family. So that's my Indonesian mom and dad, and then my brother, Rama. And yeah, so I got cool with the whole family, and I'm there for 2 weeks. And I'm only supposed to stay there for a week, but I ended up loving it, and just they loved me. And when I do go back to Indonesia, I will be back there for sure. But Borobudur is a very country town, and what's famous there is the Borobudur Temple. And that's kind of like what everybody knows and everybody goes to. And so I did get a chance to go there, and that was awesome. But the main thing that I love is the people, and just they treated me like family. That's why I love this place the most. There wasn't that much to do. Like there, I did a lot of hiking. And I said I love being with the people, so I was always with the people, eating the local foods, and the people just loved me. I was teaching English. And that's when I really found my love for teaching because my brother was like, "Man, you should teach. Like, we'll help you stay down here. We'll help you with the visa, and we'll like pay you." So I was like, "Hey, that sounds like good." And some of the students that I was teaching, they had like money, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll pay you. Like, you can stay, and we'll pay you." So I was like, "Bet," because I was trying to like find a way to earn income and like basically like stay overseas. Like, I didn't want to come back to America. And so, yeah, I started teaching and stuff and just really found like my passion for teaching. And it was basically just conversation. Like the people loved my conversation with English, and I was just teaching even little kids, adults, everyone. And that was like the first time I was like the head teacher and just coming up with the lessons, and just I really enjoyed it as well. And I had some awesome people. They just welcomed me, they treated me like family. And so after 2 weeks, I had the other lady as well. And while I was there with my family, she came over and visited. And so the people that I was with, my family, are pretty wealthy, especially in Indonesian terms. And this other family I was going with, which was about an hour away, was like very poor and just, yeah, they didn't have much. And I didn't care about that because I'm from the hood in America. But the girl, like I said, we were talking like every day. And she was like, yeah, like we're not as rich as them, and we eat like the same thing every night. But like I said, we were already talking, and we were already cool. So I was like, don't worry about that. Like everything's good. And like I said, she came and visited my family while I was there, and I was able to teach them, just give them like a little example of what I'm going to be doing with them. Because this lady was a real teacher, so that's what I was going to go help her with. She had her own business and just she taught English in her community. So that's kind of like what I was going to be helping her with. And so she came down, met my family, and then my dad, my Indonesian dad, told Rama like Zeke's not going to be there long. Like I can already tell. Cause when the girl first came, she gave me a hug, like, cause I was trying to like shake her hand and be like cordial. And she's like with her husband and two kids. And like the first time we meet in person, like she runs up and gives me like a huge hug. And yeah, my family didn't end up liking them. And because in the Indonesian culture, they're very reserved, but this girl was like not reserved at all. And so my family brings me down there, whatever. My mom, my brother, and a friend. They drop me off, and then the dad's like, Zeke's gonna be back, like in like within like 3 days. Like, watch. He told Rama this, and next thing you know, like I'm in this city. I forgot the name of it. Oh, Taemongoon. That's what it's called. So I'm in Taemongoon, super small, like country town. There's not like shit to do at all. But the family that I'm with is super cool. Like I said, I was already talking to the girl like a lot. So we were already like super cool. And that talking was actually like bad because we were like flirting and stuff. And mind you, like I said, she's married. She has two kids. And when I go to the house, her mom's there as well. So she has her family. And so yeah, I'm just helping her teach like for like a day or two. And yeah, things start getting spicy. And the night before I left, after day two, we basically get caught like kissing by her husband. And then her husband's like, "You gotta go." Like she like basically got like we got caught. Like she was on top of me like making out, and then he like kicked her and like yeah, it was a big chaotic scene. And he was like, "In my country, like we can kill you for something like this." And I was like, "Boy, I'm from like Texas." I didn't say that, but like I was like, "Where I'm from, we would already got it popping, literally." And that's for fat. Where I'm from, like you can die over that, and we both would have got popping. Like where I'm from, I got guns, and everybody got guns, so we would have been got this bitch popping. So I just let him know, like, if you want to take it there, we where I'm from, we would have already took it there. And so yeah, he's like, yeah, you got to leave like tonight, and it's late, like 12 a.m. And but I take full responsibility. I'm like, yeah, it's my fault. Like, don't blame her. Even though she was like on top of me kissing, I knew kind of like what I was doing. And it led up to this. Like, I gave her like a couple massages and stuff, and just she really like fell for me. And so yeah, I ended up leaving. I texted my brother Rama that night. He actually texted me right like this night. And he was like, "Yo, how are things going?" And it was like God. But I told him like, "Yo, I'm gonna have to come back." Like I didn't tell him the full situation, but I just told him I'm gonna have to come back like in the morning. He was like, "Oh yes, you can come back. Like we have a place for you, and you're always welcome." I was like, "Bet." So the husband's like trying to find me like a hotel or something. Just get out. Like you can't stay here. And I was like, "Bet, I understand. I respect that." And we couldn't find any places that were open. So I was gonna leave in the morning to go back to Borobudur, and essentially nothing. We couldn't get any. Cause like I said, this was like a small little country town, like basically nothing. And so yeah, nothing was open. And he's like, "Man, you can stay one more night at my house, but you gotta leave like in the morning before my wife gets up, before any of that." And I was like, "Cool." And I was kind of like scared, like to stay there, but I was like, "Cool." So I ended up staying there, locked my door just to make sure, and kind of didn't even sleep. I was just waiting for the morning because if I had to do something, we were gonna get it popping. And so, anyways, I wake up at like 7. He's up already, getting the kids ready and stuff. We just have one final talk before I leave. I'm like, "Yeah, it was my fault. I'll take responsibility. But there's no way. Like this was like her first time like doing this." And like I just gave him a heads up, gave him some game, and so yeah, I go back to Borobudur, and my family loves me, and I kind of just tell them like what happened, and they were like shocked. And Rama was like, "My dad already like predicted like you would be back within 3 days," and I was back within 3 days. And I was like, "How did you know that?" And he was like, "Cause she was just like loose, like I could just see it." And he didn't like them at all. And so yeah, that was like my experience in Indonesia. I met my family and they really took great care of me. And I really got like my first students from there when I first got back to America. I was still teaching the kids and their mom. And yeah, so I came back just knowing that I had to get my bachelor's degree. So that's why I came back to America just to finish up school. And I was already almost finished. And so I came back, got my associates, got my TEFL, which is to teach English globally. And now I have one more year before I finish up school. Then I'm going to hit the road again. And so I have my family in Indonesia waiting on me, and just I'm planning on going to Vietnam first just to get my foundation right. And so Indonesia really just showed me like what I can do, how I can make money, and just that's what I'm gonna do going forward. Start teaching English. I already started. I teach online. So I have a couple students right now. And yeah, Indonesia was awesome and I'll definitely be back.